The Iowa caucuses are over, and we have two winners. NBC News projecting Barack Obama, a big victory on the Democratic side, and Mike Huckabee for the Republicans, turning away a millionaire. Both men changing this race nationwide starting tonight here in Iowa.
This is NBC Nightly News with Brian Williams.
Good evening from Des Moines, and if the voters' message from the Iowa caucuses is to be taken literally, take everything you know about presumed frontrunners in the race for president 2008 and place it, at least for now, off to the side, because Iowa, as it has in the past, has changed the course of American politics in ways we're just now coming to grips with. On the Democratic side, NBC News is projecting that when all the caucus goers' preferences are counted up and tallied, Barack Obama of Illinois has turned away the woman everyone was calling the presumed frontrunner in the Democratic Party, Senator Hillary Clinton, and pulled off a victory here in Iowa at the Iowa caucuses, which he will now take to New Hampshire and points south and west. On the Republican side, Mike Huckabee, the minister from Arkansas, the man who flew west to do Jay Leno's first Tonight Show back after the writer's strike last night, flew back here to Iowa, has pulled off a stunner of a victory for his part, turning away not only the millionaire former Massachusetts Governor Mitt Romney, but a slew of Republican contenders. We have a whole new story here tonight. We have a subplot line that turnout was apparently enormous across this state, and we have the very best in the business here with me to talk about all this news. Our Washington Bureau Chief Moderator of Meet the Press, Tim Russer. Tim, what a story.
Brian, looking at this data is amazing. Democratic caucus goers were asked, what's more important, change or experience? More than half said change. And how did they break down? Obama 51, Clinton 19. That's what this election was all about in Iowa. People wanted to take a chance on a new face, a change agent. They decided it was Barack Obama. On the Republican side, 60% of the caucus goers, evangelical born-again Christians, they voted overwhelmingly for Baptist minister, former Governor Mike Huckabee, outspent 20-1. Now you have Barack Obama, Mike Huckabee, no Hillary Clinton, no Mitt Romney, no John McCain, these big names in American politics. This is an electorate that is sending a loud and clear message. They're willing to vote for unknown, untested national figures, Obama and Huckabee, because they want change.
So they're putting ideas first. What about all those assumptions? Everything we knew just yesterday. Front runners. Money is the mother's milk of politics. Tell that to Mike Huckabee, who did this on a shoestring based on ideas as a late charger.
Flying around commercial, no staff, spent several $100,000 to Mitt Romney's $9 million. What does he do now? Huckabee is rooting for John McCain to beat Mitt Romney in New Hampshire. Huckabee will go there and make a token appearance. Then he goes to South Carolina to square off against McCain. Their friendship ends there. Rudy Giuliani, he's in Florida tonight. He's going to be 6th here in Iowa. He thinks he can hold back until late January, and whoever emerges, Huckabee or McCain or Romney, he'll try to take them on. He may not have that luxury.
Now, our viewers just joining us on the West Coast, you can tell you've come in just in time. We're in the midst of a very big story tonight. It was only in the last 30 minutes that we have called this projection for Barack Obama. That word has now filtered through the ballroom here in Des Moines that has served as Obama's headquarters. It is, as you can imagine, a very happy place tonight. Lee Cowan is our correspondent covering that campaign, a newly emerged front-running campaign as we go from Iowa into New Hampshire. Lee, what's it like?
Well, you know, Brian, this really started early. I mean, all along we were told by the Barack Obama camp that, look, we expect to be behind for the better part of the evening. As some of the rural counties started coming in and reporting first, they didn't expect to do as well there as, say, John Edwards, who had campaigned very heavily there. So they expected all along to actually be behind for a better part of the evening until some of the larger precincts started reporting in. but we were only about a third of the way through this thing in terms of the number of precincts reporting when the campaign started to sense that, hey, things are really going our way. They were doing better with women, they were doing better with men, they were doing better with older people than they thought. And they knew that right off the bat, and they're crediting a lot of this to those first-time caucus goers. They said all along that if they could get a new group of people out to these caucuses, people that had never caucused before, people that didn't even know necessarily how to caucus, if they could transfer that energy that they saw on the campaign trail for the past couple of days, get them out to caucus, it would serve them well, and it looks like it did tonight, Brian.
All right, Lee Cowan at one of two very happy headquarters in the Des Moines metropolitan area tonight. Let us not forget the other is Huckabee headquarters. Again, this can't be said enough. You have millionaire Mitt Romney with all the machinery, the mechanics of a presidential campaign, from aircraft to just walking around money. He is turned away by Mike Huckabee, and Kelly O'Donnell is there at Huckabee headquarters tonight. Kelly, what do you have to report?
Well, Brian, I just spoke to the governor's daughter, Sarah, who said that her dad had expected to be here before results would be known, and so she and the campaign manager informed him, and she said he was pleased and proud. An understatement, I'm sure. There's another thread to this, both on the Democratic and Republican side. The younger candidates won. Mike Huckabee is just 52, the youngest in the field, and he's a married father of 3, as you know, and part of the change that he represents is that economic difference that you were just talking about. He tried to make a virtue at every turn of the relatively small piggy bank that was his campaign war chest, and asking voters to be willing to do something historic, seismic. Those were the words that he used. And also to send a message to any future candidate that ignoring Iowa might not be such a good strategy, because on that shoestring that you talked about, Huckabee was able to go all across the state and in very tiny venues. He would say sometimes the only camera there was on a cell phone, quite different now, that he was able to connect to people. Part of the success has been evangelical Christians. And we saw something tonight that I've never encountered in covering big election nights, and that was before all of the fuss and the exuberance, about an hour or two ago, prayer circles. Some of the volunteers who are also evangelical Christians who put the phone calls out and knocked on doors, stood here in circles together offering prayer for Mike Huckabee, which is both in spirit and in symbolism a big part of his success tonight. As Tim indicated, they do think that New Hampshire will be an opportunity for him to just wear the front-runner label for a time, but it will be South Carolina, they hope, that will put him into a more solid position. And the big thing advisors are telling me is now they've got to raise some money and get some organization. So it's a short-lived happiness, because they're going to be very busy in the days to come trying to hire a staff. They only have 50 staffers nationwide. Brian?
There is that minor matter of raising money and starting up a presidential campaign organization. All right, Kelly O'Donnell from a ballroom where they're all coming to grips with what has taken place tonight, as we are, Tim. And Kelly started walking down this path. Most Americans know, of course, it's the first in the nation Iowa caucuses, followed by the New Hampshire primary, but it isn't really that way for everybody in this race. You touched on this. There's people who are going to skip around, people who are going to give a glancing blow to New Hampshire, but concentrate their efforts elsewhere. So it's not an easy answer to the question, where do we go from here?
Particularly on the Republican side. Mike Huckabee understands that the best chance for him to succeed is to have John McCain beat Mitt Romney in New Hampshire. The interesting thing, Brian, however, is momentum. Momentum gets you money. It gets you recognition. It gets you energy and volunteers and organization. And it'll be interesting to me to see how Huckabee takes advantage of that. This also brings John McCain back to life in a big way. What does the Republican establishment do, if there is such a thing anymore? Huckabee and McCain, not popular. Who do they gravitate around? Rudy Giuliani will try to say it's me, but he's out of sync with most Republicans on social and cultural issues. On the Democratic side, those candidates do not have the luxury of skipping around. They are going right to New Hampshire, all of them. It's a slingshot. And Obama is on the internet right now saying, I won Iowa. I can do the second punch in New Hampshire. I'm on my way to this nomination. Hold on to this momentum. Hillary Clinton, she's now going to go all out to try to stop Obama in New Hampshire. One Clinton advisor told me 6 months ago, we have to stop Obama in Iowa because if he gets out of the stable there, he could be a thoroughbred. That's what this is all about now. This race is going to be tough, tough, tough. Bill and Hillary Clinton are not going to give up this nomination without a fight.
Which leads us nicely to the next step in this. In New Hampshire, our own John Yang, who's covered politics for a long time, first for the Washington Post, and now these days, of course, for us at NBC News, is in Manchester, New Hampshire. And John, except for those few candidates we mentioned who are either giving a glancing blow to New Hampshire or bypassing it entirely, it is true, you are standing at what is ground zero in American politics starting tomorrow morning.
Absolutely, Brian. Already starting in the next few hours. John McCain skipped the caucuses in Iowa, and he already came here to New Hampshire. He thanked the voters in Iowa. But overnight, every candidate is going to be flying here. Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, John Edwards, coming here overnight, and they'll have their first events first thing in the morning. But, Brian, no one's going to beat Mitt Romney. He's got to try to come back here. He feels like he's got a home field advantage here, having governed in Massachusetts just south of the border here. He's got a summer home in Lake Winnipesaukee. He leaves Iowa tonight, lands here early in the morning, and has a rally at 2 a.m. to try to kick off things and try to get back in this race. Iowa has really shaken things up. Now New Hampshire is trying to try to sort things out even more. John McCain, who had a big win here in 2000, is going to hope to asking the people of Iowa to do the same thing for him this time. He's even staying in the same hotel he stayed in 2000. He's a little superstitious about that. Hillary Clinton has a very strong organization here. She's going to try to rebound. So, Brian, it all comes here to New Hampshire in the next few hours.
All right, John Yang at McCain headquarters. And last night here in Des Moines, we decided to do what Iowans do and wade out into the cold to sample that retail political process we'll see in New Hampshire. We headed out to a few political events, rallies, among them a nighttime rally at John McCain's suburban Des Moines campaign headquarters. As John mentioned, McCain didn't campaign a lot here, but he's gained in this race. His supporters packed into this small building here last night. They spilled out into the 10-degree weather. McCain then comes in to the tune of the final countdown, and after a short rally, we sat down for the final interview of the night. Governor Romney tweaked you today. He said, welcome to Iowa. What do you make of Governor Romney? What do you think about him as a person, his character?
I'm sure he's a good man. I don't know him very well. I know he's changed positions on most of the major issues. But, you know, he's been running negative attack ads here in Iowa against Governor Huckabee. He's doing the same thing here. I mean, in New Hampshire against me. It seems to be something that he's done quite frequently. But look, we respond, but we move on. We're not going to get into tit for tat.
You've got a tough ad, though, on the web against him that someone in our political unit said is this far away from Johnson's famous Daisy ad.
We live in a dangerous world, and these are serious times.
The accusation is he has no foreign policy experience, but, you know, neither did President Clinton, President Bush, President Reagan.
But this is a critical time in America's history, and that time is that we are facing a transcendental challenge. I know how to handle these issues. I know the people, I know the areas, and I've been involved in every major foreign policy, national security issue for the last 20 years. I was out there when we said that when I said the Rumsfeld strategy wouldn't work. I was there when I said the Petraeus strategy would work. No one else who's running said that, or because they didn't have the judgment, and I have the judgment.
Two major reasons.
John McCain at the end of a long day and a long, hot night in campaign headquarters, but the truth is the campaign may be just beginning for him as well. When Nightly News continues on this eventful night here in Des Moines, Iowa, we'll have some late news as these caucuses wrap up. And later, why it's so easy for identity thieves to get your information online. You might be surprised at who's giving it away.
At T. Rowe Price, successful investing is about balancing risk and reward intelligently. For each 3, 5, and 10-year period, over 70% of our mutual funds beat their Lipper average, finding the right opportunity. Low-cost mutual funds from T. Rowe Price. Invest with confidence. Request a complete prospectus or profile with investment objectives, risks, fees, expenses, and other information to read and consider carefully before investing.
6 weeks ago, you were getting ready for the holidays. Now you're recovering from them. In those same 6 weeks, Cheerios could have helped lower your cholesterol 4%. Cheerios, 4% in 6 weeks. Now's the time.
Poor girl. Worried her friends will find out her secret. She's got a bladder control problem. Time to have the Detrol discussion. That's it. I'm going in. Listen, I know what you're going through.
Really? It's not just the going. It's worrying that everyone will know.
You should have the Detrol discussion with your doctor. Detrol is the brand doctors prescribe most to help calm that gotta-go feeling. Just one Detrol LA works 24 hours, all day and all night to help calm those frequent sudden urges. If you have certain stomach problems, glaucoma, or trouble getting urine to pass, you shouldn't take Detrol LA. The most common side effects are dry mouth, headache, constipation, and abdominal pain. Ask your doctor if Detrol LA is right for you.
Doctor, Detrol, got it.
Okay, see you soon.
But not too soon.
Have the Detrol discussion with your doctor. To help you talk about overactive bladder, go to DetrolLA.com.
Have you heard about Miralax?
It's a different kind of laxative that's kind to your body.
Miralax relieves constipation with no bloating.
No cramping.
And now, no prescription.
Restore your body's natural rhythm with Miralax.
The experts say it may just be a matter of time until we are all at risk of identity theft. That is, if it hasn't happened to you yet. When you see this next report, you'll see one way it can happen. Here is our senior investigative correspondent, Lisa Myers.
Dawn Higgins says her life hasn't been the same since someone stole her identity 3 years ago and bought almost $900,000 worth of houses in her name, destroying her credit.
It's just a devastating effect to you. I can't tell you how deep it goes.
Now she cannot get a car loan or buy a house, all because a criminal got a hold of her Social Security number. Yet go to some government websites in Higgins' state of Virginia, and you can easily find Social Security numbers posted online, including one belonging to former Secretary of State Colin Powell.
That's just scary. That's a scary thought.
Scary, too, to the Attorney General of Maryland, who was shocked to learn his Social Security number was on a government website.
The problem here is it's government itself that is putting these numbers out there.
Experts complain that states and counties across the country are aiding and abetting identity thieves by posting millions of documents online. Real estate deeds, court records, birth certificates, which reveal vital personal information. NBC News will not show exactly where to find this information. Experts say criminals already know, even ones overseas.
They can come here and get your Social Security number or your mother's maiden name and open a bank account and take the money out in London or Kiev.
Since we first reported on this problem a year ago, some states, including Missouri, have made it harder for crooks to get information. But with the help of a privacy watchdog, we still were able to find Social Security numbers on this Missouri site. Information that with a few clicks of the mouse can enable thieves to take over someone's life. Lisa Myers, NBC News, Washington.
Before we move on, a quick look at Wall Street. Stocks finished this day narrowly mixed. And when we come back after a break, the struggle to keep the lid on in Kenya.
Are you trying to lose weight? Me too, it's really hard. But I've got some help. My friend Beth, the Ally Weight Loss Program, and Walgreens.
Make Ally part of your New Year's resolution. No prescription necessary.
With the Ally Weight Loss product, a low-fat diet, and exercise, we can lose more weight than with dieting alone.
Ally is the only FDA-approved non-prescription weight loss product available.
Find out if Ally's right for you. Visit Walgreens.com for details.
Red, dry, irritated eyes need advanced relief from Visine. Gets the red out while its 3 moisturizers soothe, cool, and refresh irritated eyes. Visine Advanced Relief gets the red out and moisturizes.
Cholesterol. It can come from that cherry pie, but also from your granddad's sigh. From beef off the grill and your grandmother. Jill. A healthy diet is important. When that's not enough, adding Vytorin can help. Cholesterol comes from two sources, food and family. Vytorin treats two sources. Only Vytorin helps block the absorption of cholesterol from food and reduces the cholesterol your body makes naturally. Vytorin was also proven in clinical studies to lower bad cholesterol more than Lipitor alone, more than Crestor alone. Vytorin is not for everyone, including people with liver problems, women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant. Tell your doctor right away about unexplained muscle pain or weakness, which may be a sign of a rare but serious side effect. Certain medicines or foods may increase your risk of getting this serious side effect. Simple blood tests are needed to check for liver problems. So eat right, stay active, but if that's not enough, ask your doctor about adding Vytorin, two sources of cholesterol. Treat them both with Vytorin.
Did you know 1 in 3 men will face prostate issues?
1 in 3? Really?
That's why One-A-Day Men's is a complete multivitamin with lycopene, which Harvard studies suggest may help prostate health. One-A-Day Men's.
You guys watching football? Good stuff. That's high def, right? Oh, it's a bee in there. Move! It's 4th and 1. This is a what? Hey, can we flip over to figure skating? What an amazing... Wow, that's probably a big play, huh?
At least you can keep your heartburn from coming back with Prilosec OTC. The only OTC heartburn remedy that works to block heartburn before it begins. For 24 hours with 1 pill a day. Try Prilosec OTC, the round-the-clock heartburn blocker.
To get Hannah Montana tickets, she said her father was killed in Iraq, but it wasn't true. Now her mother tries to explain. Tomorrow on Today on NBC. He's making a difference. NBC Nightly News tomorrow.
Back here in Des Moines, where we're covering the world tonight, in Turkey, a massive car bomb detonated by suspected Kurdish rebels killed at least 5 people, wounded 68, including 30 Turkish soldiers who were apparently the targets of this blast. There are international efforts underway tonight to stem the violence going on in Kenya, a country torn by charges of election fraud. U.S. Secretary of State Rice has sent a top American diplomat to that country. Archbishop Desmond Tutu of South Africa is already there on the scene, as is NBC's Martin Fletcher, who reports on today's efforts to head off a threatened major confrontation.
It took water cannons, tear gas and threats, and it worked. Kenyan police held off a threatened flood of slum dwellers who planned a 1 million-man rally in the center of the capital today. But they couldn't control the terror inside the slums. They're killing my husband down there, this woman cries. She tries to comfort him, but he says, I'm dying. They are Kikuyu, attacked by members of another tribe, the Luo. The election crisis has taken the lid off tribal hatred. Hatred fueled further by the opposition leader Raila Odinga, a Luo, who took reporters on a ghoulish trip to the Nairobi morgue. Blooded corpses, some with machete wounds, including children. Odinga called it genocide and blamed the police and criminal gangs. Back in the slums, the fury at President Kibaki was barely contained. They set fires and threatened violence.
This is what the police do not want to happen in the center.
Then the police charged with tear gas and shooting live ammunition in the air.
The police have been coming and going like this all morning. It's a cat and mouse game. The police clearing up, the demonstrators running and hiding in the slums. They'll be back.
The opposition has called for another protest rally tomorrow. Martin Fletcher, NBC News, Nairobi, Kenya.
And we're back in a moment from Des Moines, Iowa on this caucus day here.
Sometimes she has trouble staying asleep. Not tonight. Thanks to Ambien CR and the 7-night invite. Get 7 free nights of the only sleep aid with 2 layers to help you fall asleep and stay asleep. Just call or visit 7freecr.com. Until you know how Ambien CR will affect you, you shouldn't drive or operate machinery. Be sure you're able to devote 7 to 8 hours to sleep before being active again. Sleepwalking and eating or driving while not fully awake with amnesia for the event have been reported. In rare cases, sleep aids may cause severe allergic reactions such as swelling of your tongue or throat or shortness of breath. If you experience any of these behaviors or reactions, contact your doctor immediately. Side effects may include next-day drowsiness, dizziness, and headache. It's non-narcotic and can be taken for as long as your prescriber recommends. However, like most sleep aids, it has some risk of dependency. Don't take it with alcohol. Get your free Ambien CR 7-night trial offer now. Just call or visit 7freecr.com. Ambien CR for a good night's sleep from start to finish.
When you're constipated, harsh stimulant laxatives can cause cramps. And cramps can give you a bad day. Philips caplets don't have harsh stimulants, so you get relief overnight without cramps. Relief feels better with Philips.
If you have high blood pressure like me and get a cold, you need cold medicine with a heart. Only Coracetin HBP has a heart right on the box. It's the only cold brand that won't raise your blood pressure. Coracetin HBP, powerful cold medicine with a heart.
Oh, man.
You're kidding me.
Would you like to be a Publishers Clearinghouse winner tomorrow?
This is fabulous.
You can if you go to PCH.com right now.
I don't believe it.
Enter today, win tomorrow.
Thank y'all so much.
You can even win $5,000 a week for life.
If you often feel trapped by diarrhea, there's a fast way out. Imodium 80 Easy Chews. They dissolve quickly, they work quickly. Open up your life. Fast-acting Imodium 80 Easy Chews.
The first of its kind all-wheel drive system can react to a change in driving conditions in 1/100th of a second. So even if a surface is compromised, your power isn't. Torque transfer technology, taking the new 2008 Lincoln MKZ to even greater heights.
O'clock, all eyes are on Iowa, the race for the White House. We're there live with the latest results and the approaching storm. Blizzard-like conditions up in the north, but what about us? Plus, why doctors are using bubbles to give premature babies a better chance. Those stories and more just ahead on the Channel 4 News at 11.
And back to our top story from Des Moines tonight. There you see it, the Democratic winner, Barack Obama. We have a look at the raw numbers as well as more and more of these caucuses get counted up. And on the Republican side, Huckabee, the victor, and raw numbers as well on the Republican side. As the evening goes along, there are so many stories emerging from this night as attention now goes on to the east and New Hampshire. Among them, what happened to Senator Hillary Clinton. The presumed Democratic frontrunner, Andrea Mitchell, covers the Clinton campaign for us. And Andrea, to put it bluntly, neither Clinton likes losing. What happens now?
This is such a stinging rebuke because she's struggling to survive in second place, tied right now with John Edwards in second place. This room was empty about 15 minutes ago, Brian, and in fact, there are only about 150 to 200 people here, so it is hardly a celebration. She has to go to New Hampshire and try to recapture some kind of momentum. Barack Obama goes in with a real slingshot into New Hampshire, where he could still pick up independent voters from the independent Republican side who could end up voting in the primary for him. He comes out with a huge amount of momentum behind him. Plus, he'll get a lot of attention, and this means that she has to go south to South Carolina also, where he has an advantage. Ryan?
Andrea Mitchell at Clinton headquarters. The people of Iowa have done it again. They have a funny way of deciding American politics for themselves. That is it for Nightly News tonight. Stay with this NBC station for more on the West Coast. For now, good night from Iowa.
Your pet means everything, and there's only one place to find everything for your pet, even your very own pet vet, and so much more. Petside.
Next. On vacation with Hollywood's best beach bodies. Then could today be Britney's last chance for custody? Plus the best workout ever, 12 seconds that will change your body.
The weather just got better. Elita Loresca on Today in LA.
Break away from your everyday and escape to Pechanga Resort and Casino. Close to you, far from your everyday.
The bucket list. A list of all the things to do before we kick the bucket.
Sometimes the end of the road.
The doctors say we got months. We can put some moves on.
Is where the journey begins.
Laugh until I cry.
Academy Award winner Jack Nicholson.
What's next?
Academy Award winner Morgan Freeman.
How about Sky